Morning, guys. This is Brian over here in Pontiac, Michigan. I got my truck to the side over here. As you can see, I am in one of my colleagues' trucks at the moment. And he's not going to be here until like another half an hour or so. But since I'm here, I might as well, and I got the keys to the truck, might as well start it up for him. So I did my little pre-trip inspection. And the thing about this truck is it doesn't have any cruise control. It doesn't work on it. So in other words, you can't idle it. It wants to shut off, but at the same time, you can't put it in cruise to go into high idle. For those of you who might know or might not know, you need to warm up your truck, obviously. It's a big engine and everything, and you want to run it for a little while so you can get the oil a little bit warm and at the same time to get it circulating. But instead of just jumping back in the truck and trying to having your foot on the throttle for a long period of time or something like that, you might want to set up something. And this is one of those things that you can set up and it might help you. So what you want to do is you want to set your steering wheel like such. You got your throttle down there and you get yourself a stick. Caveman style. And what you're going to do is you're also going to get yourself a rag or something. And this is how you would set it. In case you're wondering what this contraption is, it's for the actual tablet that you have for your e-logs. No more paper logs, so you got electronic logs. I do apologize for the angle over here, but I have to show you the setup and I have to keep my hands free. So what you do is you wrap your rag around the section right here, go around one of these pillars right here, and tie it up. You take your throttle, first you start it on actually, let it sit for a second, make sure you're out of gear. And what you're going to do is you're going to put the stick on the actual throttle, and you're going to go into one of these loops. And now what that does is it's actually protecting your steering wheel so it doesn't get damaged, and at the same time it gives it a little hook so it doesn't come off. Now these steering wheels, the way they're made is they actually have a foot pedal on the side to lock it in place so you can position it. It's a telescoping kind of steering wheel type of deal. So what you do is you unlock it and you lower the steering wheel. It's hooked on this so it's not going to fall. And all you want to do is go up to like your set RPM, which in this one I'm going to put at 700. You lock the steering wheel now, and now it's locked in place and it's there. So what this is going to do is it's actually going to, and now you could step out of the vehicle, go back into your car or something. In my case, I'm going to go back to my truck where it's a little bit warmer since it's 30-something degrees in here. And you could adjust this temperature so that I have a little warm of a truck when he comes in. And that's how you would get started. Same case might be, let's say for example, some of these trucks are made that way where they keep shutting off and the cruise is out, or they deactivated it so you can't actually idle the truck. You know, there are places you go to where you're sleeping and you might be in the desert, and you might be in New Mexico or something like that, where Nevada, wherever the case might be, Phoenix, Arizona, where it might be 100-something degrees outside. And inside the cab, if you put a thermometer, what you can do is you can get yourself a simple cheat thing. Just get yourself one of those meat thermometers or some kind of thermometer that goes in a house and put it in here. And you'll see the cab, just on a regular day, if it's 70-something degrees outside, it's usually about 15-20 degrees hotter inside the vehicle. So it'll be like 90-something degrees inside here, let alone if you go out into a desert area where it might be 140, 160 degrees. There's no way you could sleep in that. And at the same time, if you're in the opposite end, if you're in a colder area, let's say Washington State or Wyoming or whatever the case might be. There was one time I was in Bismarck, North Dakota, and it was minus 53 degrees outside. And they were yelling at me because I was idling the truck when I first started, which was funny as hell. That's a story on its own. I remember coming back to the yard and a guy came over and he had his computer in his hand, and I'm new to this, so I didn't know anything at the time. He comes over, he's like, "How you doing there?" and whatnot. I'm like, "Oh, I'm doing pretty fine," and everything. Like, "How you doing?" And he came, he's like, I need to plug in my computer just to make sure everything is working in the truck. And what he did is he plugged it into that port that's over there. You can see it right there. And he started talking to me, and I was talking about the trips on the road, starting up and everything like that. And then when he was done, he's like, okay, buddy, you're done. By the way, I lowered your speed limit on the truck. It's governed, that's what they call it. I lowered it down to 60 miles an hour. And I'm like, 60 miles an hour? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, they complained that you were idling the truck too much. So we lowered your speed limit to 60 miles an hour. And I'm like, well, what does that help? Like, I was too cold or I was too hot in some cases and everything like that. And they said, well, that's their policy. They actually changed the speed limit on the thing to discipline you. It's a disciplinary action. And I'm like, that doesn't do anything to me, to tell you the truth. It does it to you guys. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, it's only going to take me longer to get to make the deliveries. And he's like, yeah, that's true. And I'm like, well, what the hell, dude? Like, it doesn't stop me from idling if that's the case. And it was kind of funny. It just took me longer to climb up these mountains and go through cities and whatever the case might be in these vast open fields and everything. But that's their policy. They do that, you know, which is so funny. You can't make the miles because you're going slower. It takes you longer to get to places. In other words, they're damaging themselves too, and I thought that was just funny. So anyways, when you want to warm up your truck, or in those cases where you need to sleep or something, or if you have a pet in here, or let's say, for example, a team member, and you have to step out, take a shower, if you need to leave the truck on, this is one of the contraptions that you could set up, and it might help you, and hopefully it helps you. And anyways, that's one of the tips of the day, I guess. Take care, guys, and happy hump day.